Okay, I think we're live. I accidentally went live on Facebook and then I went, oh wait, I'm supposed to go live on Zoom. I accidentally went live on Facebook and then I went, oh wait, I'm supposed to go live on Zoom. I accidentally went live on And now I'm live all over and then I went, oh wait, I'm supposed to go live on Zoom. I accidentally went. Let's try this again. I wonder if I am live. Looks like I'm live, but I think I closed out of it. Oh boy. Let's see here. Okay, it does look like I am live now. Am I live? Well, I'll do this and we'll see how it goes. It is kind of weird being able to actually check myself on my phone. I've never done that before. Hello, my friends. I'm Dr. J, your hostess with the mostest when it comes to high performance leadership and living in divine alignment. That last part's a little bit new, a little bit fun and exciting, and is what has inspired today's topic, actually. I used to live in fight mode. I even remember there was a song called Fight Song. This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm all right song. There's a reason that I'm not a singer and you just experienced it. That's not in my plan. That was just part of the divine human nature in me. So, with that, today we're going to be talking about being in fight mode or flow mode. And I want you to grab your journals because when I'm all about learning and retention. So, long-term memory and retention, when you learn something, you will only remember, you will forget 80% of what you learned 30 days from now. Basically, you only remember about 20%. You can dial that up to 50% by taking notes and 90% by taking action. So, as someone who is a guru in learning, performance, behavioral change, and transformation, I want you taking notes. So, grab a journal. And what we're going to do is I want you to create a continuum with me, fight and flow. And I'll tell you what to write here in just a moment. So, first things first, let's talk about what exactly is flow. One of my clients had this great question. She said, I kind of get it, but I am wondering a little bit about how can you do a training on flow? Can you help me understand what flow really means? So let's start with that. Mikhail Csikszentmihalyi created some research on flow in the 90s that described flow as a state in which people are so involved in an activity that nothing else really seems to matter. You get immersed in the experience and it's so enjoyable that you continue doing it just for the sheer sake of doing it. For example, Sunday evening, I had the best Sunday ever, had kind of the worst Saturday, and then pushed myself to go out line dancing, even though it was kind of scary and a little uncomfortable for me. And Sunday, I woke up hours before my alarm, answered prayer. I had prayed, God, angels, guardians of the galaxy, all the things that may be out there that are so much bigger than my mind can imagine. Would you please provide me with restorative rest tonight and wake me when you feel ready? And I had no alarm set. My first event was 10 a.m., meeting my neighbor at the gym to pump some iron. And so I woke up super rested and a couple hours before I needed to be awake. So I enjoyed basking in a sound bath and allowing every cell of my body to be transformed and renewed. As a cancer thriver and survivor, that's very important to me to nourish my cellular body and to get my every organ's frequency in alignment and to align my chakras, align my energies. And so I basked in sound and just bathed in the sound. And then I got up, I went to church. I met some amazing women. One was in her 60s and was talking about how she's starting to lack motivation for her to-do list. And then she was sharing that with a woman in her 80s. And she said, maybe it's age. And I turned around, I was like, I don't think it's age because it's happening to me too. And I said, I think it's divine awakening, that as we're awakening to the evolution of ourselves, right? That as someone who specializes in human development and has spent a lot of my career nurturing the development of humans, think about infancy, early childhood and like the toddler stages, children and childhood, the teenage years, young adulthood, adulthood. And then we have periods, some stay in adulthood, right? And stay and stabilize or stagnate, and others ascend. And in your 40s, 50s, 60s, that's where a lot of people find themselves ascending and questioning where is there more? Is there more than just this? And that's why you see a lot of midlife crises. So a lot of you also know I'm a mathematician. So we're going to talk normal distribution curve. What most people do, what's common in that time frame, because they don't know human development and they don't see the evolution of their being as a part of their life's work in that age, they go out and buy the big fancy car. They go and spend a lot of money on a wonderful vacation on an exclusive yacht, or they go out and drink their face off. Like they go out and do what most common people do in that mediocre middle, are exhibit behaviors that don't serve them. And as a behavioral change expert, I want you behaving in ways that align with the top. Pick your percent, wherever you want to be 10, 5, 2, 1, you name it, you claim it, and that's where you're going to be. And so I want you to live a Romans 12:2 life. Do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, your brilliant mind. You are brilliantly and wonderfully made. So flow states occur not when we're in the messy middle of mediocrity. Flow states occur when we're in that heightened vibrational state of being where we're doing something for the joy of doing it. So for me, Sunday, I had this amazing day, went to church, was super filled, went to the gym, worked out for 2.5 hours, lifting weights, getting strong, feeling amazing, had a great afternoon with my daughter. And when I got home, I was so excited that I started working on this project that I'm building called Awakening. And it's about discovering your soul's sacred purpose and recognizing that if you have that little voice inside of you, that's someone else's frequency and vibration calling out to you for help. And that you can respond to that by creating. But a lot of times we don't really know what to create. And so that's where I come in. That's where I've done the analysis of the online expert opportunities that exist for you and the skill mapping that will help you determine which of those is best aligned to your skills so that you can be highly profitable and achieve time and financial freedom while role modeling the way for your loved ones and that next generation who's going to inherit what we leave them. And so I want us to do that with great intention. And so I'm working on this program and I'm really excited. And you know what? I got so caught up in the work. I was in flow that it became 2:22 in the morning. I'm a country girl now. I go to bed early. I like to wake early. And so being in a flow state, I lost complete track of time. And then I went and searched, what does 222 mean in angel numbers? And it was talking about prosperity in the areas of career, finance, and relationships, which happen to be the three domains that I am most curious about right now in my own life. And so that was kind of a beautiful, divine little bit of angelic guidance saying you're right on track where you need to be, sweetheart. When you're in a flow state, that might be what you experience, where you lose complete track of time. You're doing it for the sake of doing it. It brings you a lot of joy. That wasn't on my Sunday to-do list to build out the program, design all my brand guidelines, and work on the social media editorial calendar. That wasn't on my to-do list for Sunday at all. Sunday was supposed to be fun day. And that was what I found fun on that day and in that moment. So here are 8 characteristics that Chick Set Me High uses to describe flow. And for those of you who are like, how do you spell Chick Set Me High? It is CSIKSZENTMIHALYI. I had to write in parentheses in my own notes, chick set me high. Chick sent me high. Actually, it's not set, it's sent. Chick sent me high. Chick sent me high. So the first is deep concentration. You have a focused level of attention and you're able to block out all distractions and interruptions. All the notifications don't matter. Your children fighting in the background doesn't matter. The fact that it's dinner time doesn't matter. You are in a deep state of concentration and focus. So that's the first description or characteristic of being in a flow state. The second is you have clarity of your goals. They're providing you with direction and purpose. A lot of times our to-do list is just filled with a lot of busy work that's irrelevant and doesn't matter. When we're in a flow state, there is a purposeful alignment. My awakening program is meant to help people discover their soul's purpose because I'm getting a lot of questions on that. So it has a lot of meaning to me. And it's strategically aligned to help people in the next evolution of their journey, which is High Performance Leadership Academy. That's a more in-depth program where we focus on research-based high performance coaching. We focus on elevating our success as business women. And so there's a direct alignment there that's very strategic. And it also funnels downward into my book study and my Laugh and Learn community. And so there's this strategic alignment in why I'm working on that. So there's clear goals, clear direction, clear purpose. And there's a reward in mind that we have when we have a goal and a purpose, right? For me, my greatest reward is sitting amidst, like yesterday was a great example, where I'm with 3 women and we're talking about purpose mastery was the subject of our coaching session. And the question was the first question was, how has your purpose changed since has your purpose changed since we started working together, and how? Woo! The first response right away, 100% yes. I am chasing big dreams. I'm being brave. I'm building momentum. These women have achieved more in 3 months than most do in a year. And it's because of their level of commitment to coaching, community, and continuous learning. And so I want to invite you to think about, is that a fit for you at this time? That's that reward in mind. For me, the reward is seeing others succeed. That is a huge reward for me. And sometimes when we're in a flow state, we also get immediate feedback. For me on Sunday night, the immediate feedback was literally, I could feel the vibration of my being at such a heightened state that when I laid in bed and took my sound bath and did my body scan laying in Shavasana, I could feel the chi energy emanating from my fingertips. I was in such a state of flow. So there's the reward that's long-term, and there's also some immediate feedback in flow state. It might just be a sense of joy that you have, or purpose, or meaning and fulfillment that's coming from the work. And so you get that immediate feedback, you have a reward in mind, and you are clear on the direction and purpose of your goals. The third characteristics is what we've talked about, having an altered sense of time. Hours can feel like minutes. Time can speed up or slow down depending on how you're experiencing flow, but time is altered. The fourth, the experience is intrinsically rewarding. You have that feeling of deep meaning, fulfillment, and joy. The fifth is effortlessness and ease, that there's this peaceful productivity that's happening and you're in that flow state. I like to think of it like when we're in a flow state of living life. So this is specific. Csikszentmihalyi's research is more focused on tasks, but when we're flowing through life, I like to think of it as being liquid, like a river. There'll be stones and obstacles and boulders for you to navigate of different sizes and shapes and placements in your life, but you'll be able to flow with ease because you're in divine alignment with the calling and purpose of your life. And that's so beautiful. So being in that space of peaceful productivity, effortlessness, and ease, trusting that all the things will get done is a beautiful place to be. The sixth characteristic is there is a balance of skill and challenge. You're using skills that you've built, your uniqueness. Every experience you've had in your life so far has built skills. It has strengthened you. And there's also an element of challenge. It's hard enough that your brain stays cognitively engaged. Think of it this way. If I gave you a worksheet filled with a bunch of single-digit addition problems, would you be too excited about it? No, because your brain knows how to do that, right? There has to be an element of challenge to get us into a flow state and sense of engagement. Humans are wired for challenge. I used to tell myself the harder, the better. And I've learned that life's been pretty hard and I don't need it to be hard anymore. So I'm not manifesting that. But we are wired for challenge and we are capable, highly, highly capable of embracing challenge. Sorry, my hands are really dry. And I was just looking at that hand cream sample and I thought, oh my gosh, I have to put that luxurious lotion all over my hands. Number 7, the 7th characteristic of Csikszentmihalyi's flow state is your actions and awareness are merged. So the awareness of what you're doing, that attentiveness and alertness, and your actions are together. It's not a mindless, monotonous kind of hamster wheel activity. You have a loss of self-consciousness and rumination. You're not worried about what other people think. You're not worried about the future. You're not ruminating on fear. You're fully absorbed in the activity. You almost lose an awareness of yourself. You are irrelevant in that moment. Like Sunday night's flow state, I only cared about helping people discover their sacred purpose, helping them know that they are enough, that they were brilliantly and wonderfully made, that they're strong and courageous, and that those desires of their heart were placed there by God for them to be discovered and to bring into this world. I was in that space. How my self-worth, my paycheck, my worries about the mortgage or my daughter's horse lessons or next $100,000 horse were not at all a part of my consciousness. So you lose that self-consciousness when you're in a flow state because your action and your awareness are merged and you're just working in flow. Think of it like that river again. So you're losing awareness of yourself and your surroundings. You're not worried about where you are or the dishes or the yard or the bedroom or the laundry, all those things that can be on our minds when we're out of flow are not even present in our consciousness. And the 8th and final characteristic that Csikszentmihalyi uses to describe flow is you have some feeling of control over the task. You have a sense of agency and competence. And I would like to add Brendon Burchard's research on competence, and this would be a good thing for you to put in your notes as you're taking notes with me, is an infinity symbol. And as you draw that, on one side is competence, on the other is confidence. Because our confidence, often I meet a lot of women who want to be more confident, and they don't realize that your confidence is not a fake it till you make it sport. Your confidence is a direct result of your competence. So we need to be intentionally building skills. I want you Googling LinkedIn job skills report and then insert the year. And I want you looking at those essential skills, sometimes called soft skills. And I want you to pick one and be building it all the time. You should be skill building. The reason that I have you do it with the job skills reports is those are the highest paid for skills. And I want you earning financial freedom for yourself and your family, right? So that's my goal for you. So you have that agency and competence that comes with it. And I want you to also think about as you build competence, because you're working in these states of flow, you're also going to experience confidence. And confidence is an act as if skill. Act as if you are the CEO of an amazing company, running that like a professional, managing your budget and finances like a professional, running your family and leading your children like the loving mother that you aspire to be when you're at your best. That's my goal for you, my friends. So those are the 8 characteristics of flow. And they occur, again, when we're fully immersed in an activity, experiencing deep focus, heightened concentration, we experience a little bit of that timelessness. And to enter into a flow state, we can do the following. So how do you get there, right? I believe we get there by raising our electromagnetic frequency and vibration. Because as we do that, the way that we see the world can change. I've been praying for my brain to be rewired because in the aftermath of cancer, I've been very afraid of recurrence. I kept having, initially upon my diagnosis, I was told that it was the most aggressive tumor type, a grade 3 out of 3. And it's Ki-67 protein, which is a descriptor of its growth pattern on a scale of 0 to 20 plus, was a 51. Making matters even more fun, I was laid off 2 days prior to my diagnosis, and as a result, had to navigate some insurance challenges. So I had to take control of the spread of those cells. And fortunately, thanks to Chris Carr's book, Crazy Sexy Diet, I had learned that she beat cancer with food. So I thought, I'm going to go back to that book. I'm going to study those recipes, and I am going to start starving cancer cells. I had also learned cancer can't survive in an alkaline environment. So I pulled out alkaline recipes. I knew that cancer cells are multiplied when fed sugar. So I cut all sugar. This was the month of December, my friends. So if I can cut sugar in the month of December, I know that I can do anything. And I know if I can do that, you can too. And that's why I'm here. So that electromagnetic vibration and frequency comes into a heightened state when we perceive or see. So I want you to think about your perspective. I'm thinking about, do I want to teach the ladder of inference right now? I train on that a lot. Everyone in my program has that committed to memory because it is the number one thinking tool that will help you reframe your thoughts to reclaim your life. And this training is not about that. It's about flow and fight states, but the way you choose to see things is your choice. I'll leave it at that. Right. And so in recurrence prevention planning, I could see myself as the victim. I could see myself as woe is me. I can't believe this is happening. A layoff and cancer. Oh my goodness. Or I could see myself as a scholar and as a researcher and as my own best health advocate. And guess what I chose? I chose the latter. And ladder, the ladder of inference. So I chose to see my reality that way. And as a result, I took control of my biobehavioral choices and the foods that I put into my mouth. And that helped me learn how to rewire my brain, how to downgrade the default mode network and allow for my neural circuitry to be rewired. And I did a lot of that through vibration and sound. So I know that these things work because I would be bald in the aftermath of chemotherapy sitting here with you. And as you can tell, I'm not. This is not a wig. This is my real hair. So I'm very excited about how much power we have as individuals. So going back to fight and flow, remember the continuum. So now that you know what a flow state is, I want to describe how you know you're in fight mode. For me, I'm in fight mode when I'm managing the minutes. Every minute matters and every minute is accounted for, and I don't have time for that today. Notice the tone and vibration. I've lived in that state for so many years, my friends, and my heart goes out to you if you're in that state right now. The moments of the day when I'm in that state are the worst. And so I pray divine prayers over each and every person listening to this, that we may be in a state of flow and in alignment with the divine and living with love, peace, prosperity, and joy. I speak those words into existence today for every listener. When I'm in fight mode, I'm measuring my worth in money. And when I'm doing that to myself, guess what? I'm doing it to others as well. I'm determining who's worthy by how much they make and the bullets on their resume. And I do that to myself. When I'm in fight mode, I'm monitoring my battle board. I'm crushing it. I'm carpe diem. I'm seizing the day. I'm conquering it. And I am striving to be number one because I love winning. So that's a characteristic of my own when I know I'm in fight mode. When I'm in fight mode, I also have this feeling that it's me versus the world. I have some resentment that I have to work so hard. I have resentment that others get to play and have fun while I've been busy doing X, Y, Z, and all the things, right? A lot of people tell me, like, I'm so lucky, especially right after I bought my $1.5 million house on 5 acres, put the horse in the yard, the Porsche's in the garage. And you want to know how many people told me I was blessed? And I thought, do you want to know what blessing looks like, honey? Blessing looks like earning 4 degrees. I have 3 graduate degrees, all 4.0. A little bit of perfectionism issues. I get that. And in each and every one of those pursuits, I was working full time and had a side hustle. So I was working one full-time job, one part-time job, and going to school full time. And in the latter half with my doctorate, was also a single mom. So I think about often my high school boyfriend's grandma. She used to always be very impressed by me. And she told me never to forget, the more you do, the more you can do. And we have these little things in our lives that condition us for perfection and high achievement and high performance. And then we start to tie our worth and our worthiness to those things. And what I notice is that when I embrace the divine within me and I align with that, I know that I'm worthy. I don't need more bullets on my resume to show you my worth. And I know you don't either. And I see you and I know that you are worthy because you're who you are, because you have love in your heart, because you have kindness and compassion in your soul, and because you came here to this moment in time on this planet with a divine purpose. And if you're listening to this, you're probably a light worker or a star seed. And that means you came here to raise the consciousness of this planet, to pour love and light into the world, into yourself, because we can't pour from an empty carafe, and we are that first carafe, and then into your family and loved ones, into your communities, into your workplaces, probably into every interaction you have. Ooh, I get this God tingle down my right leg that is so amazing when I'm in flow. I love it. I love it. So that me versus the world dissolves away when I'm in a flow state and I recognize the oneness of the fifth dimension. You see, fighting is a 3D vibrational state. Some of you have heard me train on that. We're going to be talking about the states of consciousness in my awakening program. I want you to know all about them. I want you to be able to eat and condition your environment to be in that state of flow and 5D. So I want to invite you to join Awakening. We're going to be launching May 11th, because 11 is my divine angel number. So that's a Saturday. We'll kick off that day. You'll get your shopping list. Yes, you get to shop. You'll get your journal to start setting your intentions, and then we'll go live the following week. Also, when I'm in flight mode, I am in get her done mode. And I also wrote 110 miles per hour. I'm living ludicrouses. I'm doing 100 on the highway. If you do the speed limit, get the beep out of my way, right? That is my fight mode. Flow state is entirely different. And what I now know too, Cancer can't live in a flow state. You're just vibrationally different. And so for me, flow is congruence. I chose that word with great intention because the world's highest performers, they have clarity on who they are and they behave in congruence with that person. That's something I coach on. I do have spaces open for 4 new coaching clients coming up. So we'll be expanding my program and opportunities if you're interested in that. Would love to take you through the best research-based coaching sessions on the planet. The next word I have under flow is alignment. I am connected to my soul's purpose. I am aware of it. I am focused on it. It is in my mind's eye all day long. And I'm staying divinely aligned as I navigate all the little shit storms, right? I'm just flowing water right around all those boulders. And I know that a stormy sea makes a strong sailor, so I'm not letting it bother me, right? And I'm staying in alignment with the divine. I'm in a high vibrational state. The best thing that happens to me when I'm in flow is I'm surrounded by my community, capital unity. Put that in your notes. My community provides me with love and support and possibility. And that vibrational energy is so different than when I allow myself to be consumed by television shows, songs that have low vibrational energy, newscasts, politics, that drama queen who always loves to talk about all the low vibrational things happening in her life, right? All of those things are not a part of my community. My community is consciously cultivated. And that's why I want to invite you to my Sundays Laugh and Learn in community, because that is the sacred space where we are the rising tide raising all ships. All this, as you'll start to see, is built with great intention. The free community, the awakening program, and the High Performance Leadership Academy and coaching one-on-one is kind of that elite piece. I want you to see the divine alignment there and to choose on that continuum where you feel you're ready to get started on this journey. The other thing I wrote about flow is it's a 3-mile-per-hour state. I had a pastor teach one Sunday. He said, God is a 3-mile-per-hour God. And he cited a book called The 3-Mile-per-Hour God. God doesn't operate at 110 miles an hour. So when we're in that hamster wheel flying through the day, we're not seeing God. We're not seeing our divine alignment. We're not feeling and experiencing our soul's sacred purpose. And that's where misery and burnout emerge from. That's where the hurry and hustle culture and the grind get its name. And if you want to be like me and make shift happen, edit your life and get out of that fight state and let's stay in flow. So let's talk. The last thing I want to talk about today is raising your electromagnetic frequency and vibration. To do that, we need practices that promote our physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. You are a whole person. I think about my very first favorite principal. Technically, my first principal was favorite, but I honestly don't even remember her name. She called me her shining star, and I felt so special. But the principal that I learned the most from was a gentleman named Chris Ahern. And he had this little diamond on a piece of paper and he'd draw a stick figure in it and call that our children. And on each of the 4 sides of that, technically rhombus, but he called it a diamond, were physical, academic, physical, social, and emotional. And we looked at children as whole beings. We weren't there just for their academic growth. We knew that their physical health and growth as a human mattered. We knew their emotional intelligence mattered. Their social growth and development mattered. And maybe now we also need to add mental to that. Maybe that's the center, that mental and spiritual being that is them. I've been thinking a lot about how much I love Nike's Just Do It motto because it gets me in motion. It keeps me in motion. And I want to add for Dr. J, we're going to focus on just be it. Be in that high vibrational state that you were designed to be. When you stand in the knowing that you came here during this time horizon of the world with purpose and that your soul contracted for each and every experience you're going to have, and therefore you will make it through every single hard thing in your future. And as you look back at your uniqueness and all the things that only you have been through, I look at some of the hellish things in my life. Only I have been robbed at gunpoint, had socks shoved in my mouth, tied up with Nintendo and phone cords, pillowcase over my head, and brutally raped. Only I went through a divorce with a gay man. Only I got pregnant 6 months later and was abandoned and drove my baby girl home from the hospital by myself. Only I ended up in another unfortunate and abusive relationship. Only I was laid off 2 days before being diagnosed with an aggressive high growth tumor. And as I started to learn that life is a classroom, not a courtroom, that none of those events were my fault, all of those events were things my soul contracted for when I came here. And many of them were contracted because this was information I wasn't ready to learn, but I'm so grateful that it came across my desk that my soul came here to teach. And this is my last carnation on earth. And I've been here many, many times before. So my soul knew it was strong enough to endure all of those hardships. And many of those hardships were designed for my aggressor. I was like, wow, that was some new knowledge. And as a Christian, I wasn't sure how I felt about the topic of reincarnation. So I had to pray a lot about it and ask about it. And I've learned that there were books that have been omitted from the Bible. I've learned that even the book of Daniel, if you pick up a Catholic Bible right now, there are 15 chapters. If you open your Bible app, there are not. So this one book that I have thought of as the whole truth has been edited. And you see edits happening in what information is provided to us. And it's interesting because when I left the church way back, one of the biggest reasons when my daughter asked me why we don't go to church, I told her because the church has withheld information from humankind that has slowed its evolution and that has humans not standing in their brilliance and fullest potential and expression of themselves and who God made them to be. And I know that to be true. I wasn't taught that. That's a deep inner knowing. And I think to myself, wow, it does make sense that these deep inner knowings came from somewhere. I was once told that the reason that I had friction with the church was because I lived as a man alongside Jesus at one point. I thought that was a load of woo woo hooey hooey at the time. And I'm starting to recognize as I work on my own awakening journey and my own divine alignment, there are things that I know that only I can know because of the experiences that I've had. And maybe those experiences were in past lives, because that is a deep knowing in me. And I don't know where it came from. I was never taught that. I was taught that there were 9 planets, by the way. I just took that piece of knowledge and said, okay, fine. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Saturn, Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. Oh, now Pluto's not a planet. Okay, we'll make it 8, right? Like, let's just be real about what it means to know something. As an educator in my graduate programs, we would study what does it mean to know and how do we come to know things, right? How do you facilitate the development of knowledge? Socrates believed it was through reincarnation. So it's pretty fascinating. Back to wrapping up here in our last 5 minutes together. I want to talk about how do you raise that electromagnetic frequency and vibration, the mental, physical, and spiritual well-being elements of yourself, right? And thinking of yourself beyond your roles, thinking of yourself as a whole human being, that you're growing intellectually or academically, that you're growing physically and nurturing your physical body, and that you're growing socially and emotionally and spiritually and mentally into the healthiest version of yourself that you can create. That's what awakening really is all about. So the interpretation of some of these practices will depend on your individual beliefs. And I do want to put a disclaimer here. What you believe, you will conceive. When I was in the middle of my cancer treatment and we were talking about my plan, initially because of the aggressive nature and high growth characteristics of my cells, we thought we would do full mastectomy, 3 to 4 months of radiation, and chemotherapy. I was having massive nightmares about werewolves and coyotes ripping the flesh off of my body while I was laying in a stark white operating room. My breast surgeon, who is truly the most phenomenal human being I've ever met, she said to me, that is a sign that you need to listen to. And they also asked a lot of questions about my psychology. How will you feel when you have no breasts in the shower and you're cleaning your body? How will you feel when you're standing in front of the mirror doing your hair and you have no breasts? And for me, it brought me to tears every time I imagined that reality. And so when we learned that I didn't have the genetic markers for cancer, she said, you may be a good candidate for breast conservation. And that's when I decided to fight strong for my health, to eliminate toxins and things from my environment that are linked to cancer. I gave up bacon. I gave up wine. I gave up beer, margaritas, all the things. Because to me, I did my homework. I knew the certain foods that were linked to cancer. And instead of a full mastectomy, I wanted to keep my breasts. That's a very personal decision. The point of this story isn't whether keeping your breasts or not keeping your breasts is right or wrong. The point is to believe wholeheartedly in your plan, because what you believe, you will conceive. There have literally been mice cured of tumors through thought. Go out and check the book out, Mind to Matter, The Astonishing Science of How Our Mind Creates Reality by Dawson Church. I believe that's the title. That's not in my notes. But fascinating. Mice, literally with giant tumors on their bodies, held in a box with healing thoughts being transmitted to them. The power of prayer is real, my friend. The power of thought, the power of your beliefs. So you've got to get clear on what individual beliefs are going to be guiding your life. And if you're like me, you were probably in that hamster wheel running so fast that the thought of your beliefs was not on your radar. The thought that there's a biology of belief, thank you, Bruce Lipton, for all of your research on that, was not on your radar, right? So whatever you hear as I go through this list, I'm going to share 7 things with you. If you believe that will help, that's the one you pick. You don't go do it all because Dr. J said so. You don't go and copy Dr. J or your neighbor or your friend or whatever. You do what you believe is right for you. That's about claiming and standing in divine alignment with what we know to be true. And that's where I want you. The first possible practice that you might explore is meditation, deep breathing to calm the mind. If you are brand new to meditation, welcome out from under your rock. You can do guided meditation. Search guided meditation on YouTube, guided meditation 4, and you'll see a choose your own adventure list, right? This doesn't have to be hard. We don't have to make it hard. We can make it fun. And as you're doing that, I want you laying in a Shavasana pose. Arms, lift your arms up, shoulders back, roll them down, and lift with your heart open to receive. Then allow your arms to splay out, palms facing upward to receive love, goodness, high vibration, right? The intention and the little minutia of how we do this matters a lot. Meditation will calm your mind. It will reduce stress. Stress is the number one leading indicator of disease. There's a lot of lagging indicators, but the leading one is stress. It will increase your awareness. And as you do that, it will naturally promote a higher vibrational state. So meditate. Second, positive thinking. You can cultivate a positive mindset by focusing on what you're grateful for. Make a list of 10 things you're grateful for every single day. You can focus on love and praying for others. I have a woman who early on in my journey, returning back to God and becoming divinely aligned, used to send me prayers. And now I ask others, what can I pray for you? Sometimes people say, I don't even know because I don't pray for myself. So show love, show that you care. Compassion. Compassion is empathy, which means I can understand how you feel, plus action. That is a high vibrational frequency. Love is the highest vibrational space we can be in. So we start with ourselves. Love yourself to great health. Love the foods that you're putting in your body and nourishing every cell of your being with. When I'm eating foods, my first thing that I eat is usually around 11 in the morning after intermittent fasting, and it's about half of an avocado on a typical day. Some days it might be overnight oats. Some days it might be a half or a quarter of an apple or a banana. It depends on the day, but most days it's half of an avocado with a sprinkle of Trader Joe's chili lime seasoning. And as I'm nourishing that, I'm welcoming every cell in my body to be nourished. I didn't used to eat like that, my friends. I used to be like, ooh, cinnamon roll? Okay. Or, ooh, skip breakfast, protein shake out the door. In college, you want to know what I ate for breakfast? Rice Krispie treats. Oh my gosh. So growth is possible, my friends. You don't have to be perfect. You have to be growing. So that's number 2. Number 3 is healthy lifestyle. We already kind of cued right into this one. Eating a nutritious diet, staying hydrated. Hydration is your number 1 source of energy. When you feel depleted, hydrate. It's the number 1 way to get your energy back up. Exercising regularly, getting enough sleep, knowing, yes, you need 7 to 9 hours. Don't lie to yourself. I used to say, I only need 4 to 6. I'm fine. Nope, turns out I wasn't fine. All of those healthy lifestyle habits impact your vibration. My favorite one, number 4, connecting with nature. Literally ground yourself. Put your bare feet in the dirt, my friends. You can also go for walks, hike, hug a horse. I hug Gigi's pony. Oh my gosh, her vibrational frequency, especially when she lays her head heavy on my shoulders. Oh, it's amazing. We're spending time with some kittens right now that a newfound friend is fostering. Oh, the vibrational energy is just amazing. Love on your pup, right? Get that pup on your lap and just start cuddling. So time outdoors in nature, and I'm adding to that one, spending time with your animals helps ground you and rejuvenate your body and spirit, which will elevate your frequency as well. The 5th, creative expression. Engage in something creative, art, music, dance, writing. That'll stimulate positive energy flow and just promote this sense of joy and fulfillment. I've started journaling again in a beautiful mushroom journal and just allowing words to flow off the page. And I just love it. I sit in bed and write and journal and even sometimes draw little sketches or images that come to mind. It's a fun exercise. Give yourself the peace and space to do that and experience the joy and fulfillment that comes from creative expression. Number 6, this one I used to think was a lot of woo, but it turns out it's a lot of whoa, that works. So, energy healing practices. Some people believe practices like Reiki, acupuncture, sound healing, or crystal therapy can balance and harmonize the energy centers in the body. And it raises the overall vibration. I'm currently studying crystal therapy because I think that absolutely ridiculous. I remember a dear friend and guide told me one time, well, you pick the stone that's calling you. I said, the only thing that calls me is my iPhone. Stones don't call me. And it turns out I was in St. Augustine a couple weeks ago with my mom, and there was this stone, and I just couldn't get my eyes off of it. And I thought, oh, that is just, it was a beautiful shade of blue, and it was called sodalite. And it was interesting because sodalite is all about self-expression, self-worth, and what was it? Like loving your, basically what I took it to and interpreted it to mean is it was loving yourself and your authenticity enough to be worthy and put it out there in the world in your own self-expression. Hello, what am I struggling to do as a business owner, putting out divine alignment under my personal brand, which was high performance and leadership to the core, none of this woo stuff. And I was thinking to myself, wow, that's what a calling feels like. Okay. I was drawn to it. I bought that stone. I bought my mom a stone. And now I'm wondering, how does this actually work? How does this stone do this? Well, what I learned is everything is vibration. It turns out Nikola Tesla's right. If you want to know the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, vibration, and frequency. That's what he says. So each stone has a vibration and frequency. And when our bodies are out of alignment, the stone, when placed near us, in our hand, laying on your forehead, in your third eye, on your heart, you can put it wherever you want, that your body will resonate and rhythmically align with that. Think of it like women who are on their periods together. They didn't start on the same cycle, but their cycles started to align. My daughter and I's cycle are aligned. They didn't, when she first started, it wasn't aligned. My closest friends, our cycles are aligned. We naturally work into alignment with our environment. So when that environment is hurry, hustle, in the hamster wheel, guess what? We're out of alignment. We are leading to disease, disruption in our lives, and I want you in flow. So play with whatever you like there. I want you to do an experiment for me, though. This one's really important to me, and it comes back to that concept of a sound bath. And here's why. So I sent this woman who was in training with the individual who came to install I have a wonderful well that feeds from Rainbow Springs here in Florida, yet it is hard water. So we were installing a water softener, and I also wanted a UV light to remove bacteria because I'm a recovering cancer patient, right? So I want my environment to be clean and healthy. So this woman happened to be a divine appointment. She was in training that day, and we just hit it off. And I thought, girl, we knew we'd met for a reason. We couldn't quit connecting with each other. Like, these guys were out doing their thing, and we were just like, oh my gosh. So she had texted saying she had some unfun tests done on her uterus and that she was resting. And I said, I want to suggest that you take a sound bath. Every organ in our body has a frequency, and when we're out of tune, we experience dis-ease. This is my favorite biobehavioral practice. You want to know why it's my favorite? I get to lay in Shavasana pose, just bathing in sound, relaxing. When does that count as work? Never. It's the best thing. I'm telling you, it's the best thing. So I sent her, it was called a womb healing crystal singing bowl sound healing meditation. And then I sent another one that was just crystal singing bowls for comfort and calm. I said, choose your own adventure. Listen to both of these just for a few seconds, and whichever one feels good. And then I gave her some directions. I gave her a little link to like why this crazy woo stuff works. And literally she wrote back, thank you so much for this. I did this all day yesterday. I feel like a whole new person. Seriously, I could feel my cells healing. It definitely helped me get back to normal. I woke up this morning and just felt refreshed. I'm doing this again when I get home tonight. I can't thank you enough for this tip. life-changing heart emoji high fives. So just give it a shot. Allow your curiosity to be ignited, embrace a beginner's mind, trust that all things are possible. And I love the scripture, all things work for the good of those who love the Lord. So praise God, let this work for me and give it a try, right? Or maybe you want to try Reiki or acupuncture or grab a crystal. Just practice some energy healing practices, would you? Because when you're in energetic alignment and you're in that space of love, guess what? You go out into the world a better human being. And wouldn't it be nice if every time that we left our beautiful homes, that we went into a world filled with love? Wouldn't that be good? So let's start with us. The last one, I am way over time today. Limiting exposure to negativity. Enough said, right? Like mic drop, that's the end. Think about the vibrational frequency of all the things that you encounter each day. And how can you minimize exposure to those negative influences? It might be a toxic relationship that needs a little weed pulled from your garden bed, right? You just pull that weed and place it in the discard pile. It might be a stressful environment. There might be an environment that's really stressful and you need to edit that environment. It can also be media. There is so much negativity in the media. And when you limit your exposure to those things, toxic relationships, stressful environments, and media, you can maintain a higher energetic frequency. So our electromagnetic frequency and vibration is such an important part of being in a flow state. The other thing I want to share, this came out in one of my coaching sessions this week in a group format that was so much fun. And everyone said, I need to remember that. So I want to bring this lesson home to each and every one of you listening. And that is, do not spend your high vibrational state on low vibrational tasks or people, right? So when you're in that high vibrational state, align your calendar with that. Do your absolute best work in that space. Hang out with the people who matter most to you when you're in that space. Speak to your children and your partners and your loved ones when you're in that space, right? When your vibrational energy is low, try keeping your mouth shut. Try doing those tasks that are mundane and just crank and burn through them, right? They're on all of our to-do lists. Hello, it was tax day on Monday. So we all have those things that require a lower vibrational state on our calendars and to-do lists. I'm looking at mine. Mine all have a checklist by them, by the way. I got my low vibrational task done. So I want you thinking about your vibrational space and being in a flow state as we go through this week. I want to invite you to join me on Sundays for my Laugh and Learn in Community free book club. It is a psychologically safe space where we get to be our authentic selves, discover our worth, and believe in our worthiness and knowing that we're enough. We align ourselves with the divine. I also want to invite you, if you're feeling called, the Awakening program, your vibration is calling me to build it. So I've got divine angels and guides building this program for me. I kid you not. I couldn't even make this up. Literally, as I was thinking about the program, I was praying about it one night. The next morning, bam, the whole thing came to me. You know how long I normally have to work for this stuff? Divine alignment is the jam. So that program, if you're feeling called right now, you need to be in it, because I don't know where that came from. It came from God and the angels. And if you're feeling called, that means you need to be there. So Awakening, say date, May 11th. And then if you want to join High Performance Leadership Academy, that will be kicking off in June. So with that, my friends, go out and shine your love and light into the world. That was our training on flow. You should have the 8 characteristics of flow in your notes: fight and flow continuum, and 7 ways to raise your vibrational energy. Talk about an efficient use of an hour. You just got decades, literally over 30 years of research in 1 hour. I celebrate you, my friends. That's what we do. We use our time efficiently so that we can go out and play and have some fun in the sun. All right, friends, have a blessed day. I love you so much. We'll see you next week.